When it comes to health and aging, our bodies are under constant attack. Free radicals are your health's #1 enemy. Now there's overwhelming science pointing to antioxidants as the ultimate solution to this free radical assault. The great news is that cocoa is the most powerful antioxidant superfood on the planet. That's right, chocolate. But not just any chocolate, only one chocolate. WRXY is recognized by the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office as healthy chocolate. WRXY is cold-processed cocoa with acai and blueberry. It is delicious. All of the WRXY products proudly display their certified levels of flavonoids and antioxidants. They're among the highest scores of any foods in the world. Are you concerned about your health? You must eat more antioxidants. Why not eat WRXY, the healthy chocolate? To try WRXY, to get more information, or to learn how to build your own part-time business and residual income as part of my team, call 1-800-996-5383 or visit our website, hcinfo.net. Hello and welcome back. This is Dr. Alan Gruning, and I'm your host for Prescription for Health. And again, I hope that you will go to my website at prescriptionforhealth.tv, check out what's going on with this show, check out our sponsors, get links to other places that'll be really helpful for you for your health, and really connect with us as we continue on with this program in the months ahead. I know that you're going to learn a lot of useful things that are going to help you in your journey toward better health. And we've been talking about nutritional things that you can do, and I've been reviewing them with you in the first part of this show to get healthy. And we're about to engage into another subject which is really important, and that's going to be about sleep. But first, let's just finish up with a couple of other things. We were starting to talk a little bit about chocolate. And you know, chocolate can either be healthy or unhealthy. I would prefer that you're eating healthy chocolate, and we have a great sponsor for this show called WRXY. It's the only healthy chocolate, but I would prefer that you stay away from unhealthy chocolate. What's bad about chocolate? For the most part, chocolate that you're eating is dead. It's full of fats and sugars and other things that are bad for you. And so we really want to stay away from all that unhealthy chocolate because it's making people large and sick. So fat, sugar, and caffeine are what they put in chocolate. It's one of the drugs of choice for people with something called adrenal disease in order to keep them going, to have the energy to go throughout the day. It results in a huge crash and then the need for more chocolate and more sugar. So it becomes an addictive thing, and it makes people fat. So the healthy chocolate alternative is WRXY, and I would encourage you to learn more about WRXY. Get on our website. There's a link there to be able to go to the WRXY people and be able to sample their healthy chocolate and learn more about this product that's the highest antioxidant food in the world and is the healthiest food in the world, and it's chocolate. It's an amazing thing. Let's look at the next thing that we're going to kind of get into now, which is all about sleep. You know, people in this country are sleep deprived. Now, if you get too much sleep, I start to wonder if you're hypothyroid, if your thyroid is not working properly. If you get too little sleep, I'm worrying that your adrenal gland is not working properly. But the biggest cause of too little sleep is anxiety. Most people need 8 hours of sleep. And there's a whole thing called sleep hygiene that we're going to talk about here in a second. So I guess the question is, why aren't we sleeping? Substances such as caffeine, energy drinks, sodas, chocolate that's bad for you, all of those things can cause you to rev up and have too much energy, and then at nighttime you can't rev down. You can't quiet down in order to be able to get to sleep. So all those things ruin our sleep patterns. And I don't know how much you guys know about sleep patterns, but we know that throughout the nighttime you're supposed to go through stages of sleep. So you start off in REM sleep and then go down to stage 1, 2, 3, 4, which is very deep sleep, and then cycle back up. And throughout the night you're supposed to be cycling up and down like that throughout the night. Sometimes you might wake up, and that's okay. Other times you don't wake up. But waking up a few times in the night is not all that bad. But you need to be having these sleep cycles. Well, caffeine and other stimulants mess those sleep cycles up totally. And that's one of the reasons we have so many people having trouble sleeping in our society, is because of overstimulation from all these caffeinated beverages. The second thing is I think that people are too wired. You know, as I look at our society today, people are all involved with web browsing, social media, video gaming, texting. They're constantly having to do something. And so all of that hyperstimulation results in the fact that at nighttime when you finally want to go to bed, you're still overstimulated. So it's really, really important to turn all that stuff an hour turn all that off an hour before you go to bed to begin to wind down so that you'll have the ability to fall asleep. Otherwise, you're too wired. You know, I think about movies also. You know, some movies, you watch them too late at night, they get you all wired up and excited, and then you're thinking about that movie, and it's hard to go to sleep. You have to start winding down and learn to turn all that stuff off. Stress. You know, we are living in a very stressful society. People are stressed over finances, relationships, work. Maybe you're working 2 or 3 jobs. There's a whole bunch of things that are stressing us out. That does translate in our sleep. How many of you are laying there at night and you're thinking about all of these things going on in your life and you can't get to sleep? We call that tired but wired. You're tired, but you can't get to sleep. That's a huge problem. I think a lot of people are really overworked in our society. You know, people are working 2, 3 jobs just to survive. So that all translates into not being able to wind down at night to be able to get some sleep. Obesity does affect your sleep pattern as well. If you're too overweight, you really have difficulty sleeping, and it's got to do with hormone imbalance that get created because of that. And then there seems to be this societal pressure to not sleep. It's like some kind of badge of courage or something if you don't have to sleep that much. Oh, I only need 4 hours of sleep. You know, unfortunately, that is not the case. You know, people go along and they say, okay, I can get away with just sleeping 5 or 6 hours. No, the human body was not designed to sleep 5 or 6 hours. You're supposed to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep. If we look back to what the pattern was back around 1900, the turn of the century, last century, people slept 9 hours. That was the average amount of sleep that people got. You know what it is today? 6.5 hours. That's what people are getting for the average amount of sleep in America. So we've had a 2.5-hour sleep deficit over the last 100 years. That can't be a good thing. It has horrible effects on the human body, and it's taken a huge toll on our health. There are other things that affect people's sleep at night. Restless leg syndrome is one of them, for example. And I see a lot of people whose legs are moving at night and they can't stop them. And there's a lot of reasons for that we can go over at a future time. Also, this problem that older people have, too, of urinating a lot at night, which we call nocturia, is a huge issue. And there are a lot of reasons why that happens, either prostate issues or irritable bladder. And so that can disturb your sleep all night long if you're having to constantly get up to go to the bathroom. And there are a lot of ways that can be fixed. Esophageal reflux. For example, having this burning reflux in your esophagus at nighttime can disturb your sleep horribly. And that's fixable too, based upon your diet. And we'll have opportunities in the future to go over how to fix esophageal reflux. Also, leg cramps. I know that a lot of people at nighttime get horrible leg cramps. And there are lots of ways to fix leg cramps. Stretching, massage, heat, but also a simple magnesium supplement can stop a lot of those leg cramps. And also hot flashes, and I deal a lot with this in my practice with women who are just telling me, I lay there at night and I am drenched in sweat. And I've got fans, I've got air conditioning, my husband's huddled under a blanket, and I've got them all thrown off, and I'm sweating all over the place. That's a hormonal problem, and there are lots of ways to fix that. There are natural things that you can do to help with that, such as taking black cohosh or evening primrose oil. But clearly, balancing hormones becomes a huge issue in fixing that. So what do we do about this sleep issue? How do we go about fixing it? As I said, we need 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. Sleep deprivation has huge health effects on our body, damaging our cardiovascular system, our brains, diabetes. There's all kinds of things that are associated with sleep problems. And in addition, we know that not getting enough sleep causes people to have a condition called excessive daytime sedation, and that results in car accidents, and a substantial percentage of car accidents are due to people falling asleep at the wheel. But if you look at some of the recent disasters that we've had in the history of our country, such as 3 Mile Island, the Challenger disaster, I know that also the Exxon Valdez was another one. Those were all attributed to people with sleep deprivation, that they made mistakes during those disasters. And, you know, if you look at our healthcare system, a lot of the expense that we have in our healthcare system is related to people who are having sleep disorders. And we have sleep centers, we put people on sleep CPAP machines, we put them on medications. That's a huge expense for our healthcare system. So what do? Sleep hygiene is really important. You need to avoid eating and drinking late at night. You want to have the room very cool and dark and quiet as best as you can to set up the conditions necessary to be able to sleep. As we talked about, you want to wind down an hour before you go to sleep and turn off all that stimulating media and computers and movies and video games and things that are keeping us awake. And also you want to make sure that you do get some exercise, because people that exercise have much better sleep patterns than people that don't. Now there are some nice tools that you can use, like if my room's not dark enough in the morning, I'll put on this nice little sleep thing here, which will help darken the room. And also if there's people that are loud, like I know some of you live with snorers, you got nice little earplugs that you can put in, you know, that will also help you to be able to drown out those noises. But it's, you know, very important that we be able to sleep at night and to set up the conditions to be able to effectively do that. Sometimes we have to do behavioral therapy with a therapist. Obviously there are medications that we can use for sleep, and I have a lot of natural things that we'll talk about in a future show. Sometimes I have to use prescription medicines to help people to sleep. And if you're really bad and you're snoring, or people are telling you you're not breathing at night, you have to do a sleep study and find out what's wrong so we can tailor the right therapy to get you better. But I want you to understand that this whole idea of nutrition and sleep and then reducing stress in your life, those are critical issues toward you starting to get toward the ability to have a holistic health that relies less on medications and more on natural therapies, and will actually result in you feeling better. Next time, the next show that we're going to talk about is about eliminating toxins, and we've already had the opportunity to listen to Metagenics and the wonderful anti-toxic or detoxification program that they have in order to get people well from this. But I'm a big believer that we are in a very toxic environment, and so tune in when we have our next show, and we're going to be talking about detoxification extensively and be able to give you some ideas about things that you can do to start removing some of these toxins from your environment. So in summary, the bottom part of our treatment pyramid was nutrition, sleep, stress reduction, eliminating toxins, and we're going to really focus on that as we start to move up our treatment pyramid to try to get you to a point of more holistic health. And I want you to remember that as we go on this journey, that you are more than just a physical person. Yeah, we've been talking a lot about, you know, getting you better physically, getting you better emotionally, but we also want to focus on getting you better spiritually. You know, I can teach you all these things about eating right and sleeping right and getting better, you know, eliminating stress and supplements and balancing your thyroid and all the things that we're going to be talking about. But if your spiritual life is not in balance, you will never feel well. So how do you go about getting your spiritual life in balance? Well, go to my website at prescriptionforhealth.tv. I've got a nice box on there that you can click on called How to Have Spiritual Health. And I'll tell you that the only way to really be healthy spiritually is to have a vibrant, dynamic relationship with our God and Creator, Jesus Christ. And if you're not sure how to do that, if you've never done that, if you've got questions, whatever, go on my website, get on that information and start looking at it. Email me, I'll be glad to get back with you. And again, I want to thank you for joining me today on Prescription for Health. God bless you on your journey toward better health. Thank you for watching Prescription for Health, Southwest Florida's local weekly TV program devoted to holistic health and healing. This is an outreach of Christian Health Ministries, dedicated to providing free medical care to the poor and uninsured of Southwest Florida who are in pain. If you would like to give toward the work of our free clinic, please send your tax-deductible donation to the address on the screen. God bless you on your journey toward better health.